Before you give up, listen closely. It is late. The street is quiet, your room is quiet, the heart is not. I know that hour, the hour when the world pulls the blanket over its face and leaves you with the ceiling and the slow ticking breath. I know the weight that presses the ribs flat. I know the fog that moves through the chest like a tired river. Walk with me through these quiet hours. I walked through darker ones, stone on every side, a door that closed like a drum, footsteps that did not hurry, a light that burned without warmth. People imagine the storm is loud, but the worst storm is silent. You sit with your pain and it does not speak. It only stays. You bargain with it. It does not bargain. You stand. It stands. You lie down. It lies down beside you. On the island we broke stone under the open sky. The quarry did not shout. It breathed. Dust floated. Pickaxes made a slow rhythm, a human drum. We learned our breath from the tools. Strike, breathe, lift, breathe, chisel, breathe, carry, breathe. The body asks for comfort, the day does not answer, so you answer for yourself, with one more breath. When the eyes filled with lime, the world turned white. The horizon vanished, the sea lost its edge. That is when a man can break, or he can learn to breathe before he breaks. I learned to breathe. In prison, the night is a room with no corners. The dark stands evenly. I counted the steps from door to wall. I knew the sound the cot made when it surrendered to my weight. I knew the scent of soap on the blanket when a new day was issued to us like a ration. Exhaustion is not only in the muscles, it settles into time. It tells you that morning is an old lie. It places a stone on the minute hand. It takes the meaning out of the word soon. I heard it speak in my ear. I did not argue back. I walked with it. I let it say what it wanted to say, and I kept moving within the small space I had. One step, turn. One step, turn. Some nights I folded my pain like a letter and placed it under the pillow. It was still there when I woke. But I had slept. I wrote many letters. Some were never sent. I placed words on paper like stones on a path across a river. Each word was a footstep. Each footstep said, I am still here. I did not always feel brave. I did not always feel wise. Often I felt like a man with wet clothes standing in the rain, counting the drops, asking the sky how much longer it would beat its drum. But I chose to stand in that rain. Not because I liked it, because I refused to let the storm decide my direction. When you cannot move forward, stand well. The garden saved me, a small piece of earth inside the fence, scratched open by patient fingers. A seed is the quietest of teachers. It speaks without noise. It works beneath the dust. It asks for water and time. Under the watchtower, I learned to tend small living things, a leaf, a root, a thin stem that trembles at dawn. When the first green broke the soil, I felt the ground answer back. I realized strength does not return with thunder. It returns in whispers. It returns the way dawn returns, not suddenly, but faithfully. It returns like a fire that starts with one small flame cupped against the wind. Hold the small flame, shield it with your hands. Let it learn the shape of your breath. This is how we rebuild. You think your problem is large. It is, but it is not larger than time. Time has a long back. It can carry heavy weight. When I felt the burden, I used time like a table. I put my grief on it. I put my fear on it. I put my anger on it. And then I did not leave the table. I sat with my pain. I listened. Pain has a language, but it speaks slowly. If you walk away too quickly, you miss the word that changes everything. Do not leave the table before the sentence is finished. There is a moment every night when you wish for a door to appear in the wall. It will not. There is a moment every morning when you wish for a trumpet to lift you from bed. It will not. But there is a softer miracle. You can place your feet on the floor. You can breathe once, and then again. You can wash your face and feel water remind you that you are not made only of thoughts. You can open a window. You can let the fog leave you the way it entered, without announcement. One more dawn. That is the bargain I made with myself. I would greet one more dawn. The next night I would make the same bargain. This is how a man walks through years. People ask how I found hope. Hope did not find me fully formed. It found me as a spark in damp kindling. It found me as a drumbeat hidden under heavy boots. It found me as a river under stone. I watched how water behaves. It does not win in a day. It returns again and again to the same rock. It names the rock with patience. It shapes the rock into its own idea of passage. Be like that river. Return again and again to the hard place. Name it with patience. Let it learn your shape. On difficult days, I would touch the wall, cold, unyielding, certain of itself. Then I would touch my chest, warm, beating, also certain. Which certainty do you serve? The stone is sure of being stone, but breath is sure of being breath. Breath builds nations. Stone remembers them. If you must choose, choose the side of breath. I speak to you now as a man who walked through fog and did not become fog. I speak as a man who carried dust in his lungs and still learned to sing. I speak as a man who sat at an empty table until one chair filled, then another, then a nation. Your suffering is not a stage for applause. Do not perform it. Your suffering is a teacher. Sit close enough to hear. Ask it for one clear lesson. Write that lesson down the way I wrote my letters, carefully with respect. Then stand, walk to the door that is not yet open. Put your hand on it. Feel the wood, feel the grain, feel the stubbornness. Tell it you will come back tomorrow. Doors open for those who return. There were days on the island when the sky gave us no sign. No bird crossed. No cloud troubled the blue. The sea was a mirror that refused to tell the future. On those days, I turned to work. The rhythm carried me like a drum carries a dancer who has forgotten his steps. Strike, breathe, lift, breathe. I did not wait for permission from inspiration. I made a small fire from habit and guarded it until it warmed my hands. You may think your fire is too small. It is not. It is exactly the right size for this hour. Crouch beside it. Let it teach you how to be near something fragile without breaking it. You do not need to be fearless. Courage was never the absence of fear for me. It was the decision to walk with fear and not let it walk ahead. In the courtroom, in the cell, in the quarry, fear was present. I did not expel it. I placed it in a chair at my table. You may sit here, I told it, but you will not vote. When the vote comes, breath will decide, duty will decide, love will decide. Let fear watch you live. Do not make it your guide. Listen, there is a sound beneath your thoughts right now. It is steady, it is low, it is the drum of your own life. Put your palm on your chest and you will feel it. That drum has played for you since before you had a name. It will play again at dawn. It will keep playing while you rest. Trust that drum. March to it when the world is quiet and you are not. March to it when work is heavy and the hands tremble. March to it when someone you love cannot join you. The drum does not demand speed, only direction. One evening, the fog rolled in from the water and swallowed the island. We could see only a few steps ahead. The men walked close. We spoke less. The fog made us careful. It slowed us. It kept us present. Through the fog, we learned to use our feet as eyes. We learned the map of the ground we could not see. Your life is like that tonight. Do not curse the fog. Let it teach you the ground. Place each step. Feel the stone. Feel the dust. You are not lost. You are learning. When freedom finally came, it did not erase the years. It braided them into the gift. Suffering did not make me worthy. It made me ready. When I sat at a table with those who had been my jailers, I heard the voices of my long nights tell me what to do. Listen. Be firm without hardness. Remember the garden. Remember water's patience with stone. Remember that a nation, like a seed, opens best when there is space for light on all sides, so I kept my seat. I did not leave the table. I asked others to sit. I made room for the ones who had been shut out. And slowly, the table became a country. You and I are not very different. We each carry a bundle across the same river of days. Our bundles are not the same weight, but the water is the same temperature. You may be exhausted. I have been exhausted. You may feel alone. I have felt alone. You may think the road has ended. I have stood at that seeming end and discovered it was a bend hidden by tall grass. Do not measure your life by the size of your pain. Measure it by the size of your return. Return to the work. Return to the breath. Return to the small flame. Return to the table. Return to the dawn. Stand in the rain if you must. Hold the small flame. Breathe before you break. Welcome one more dawn. Walk through the fog. Sit with your pain. Don't leave the table. These are not slogans. They are the way I made it through. They are how a man learns to carry his life without crushing it. If you are hearing this, it is not by accident. The hour is late, but it is not over. The drum is still playing. The river is still moving. The fire is still alive inside the ash. Walk with me through these quiet hours. Place your hand on the wall, then on your chest. Choose breath. Take one step, then another. I will meet you at dawn. If this message spoke to your heart, please like this video and subscribe. Your support helps this message reach more people.